Hello, everyone, and welcome to LHUM 1307, Understanding the Middle East. I decided to post a video rather than posting a long, text-based announcement, which then you would have to go through and read. I thought, why not post a video? That way you don't have to read a chunk of text, but also, you'll be able to see me in person because I know taking an online course can often feel lonely, um, or feel like you're dealing with a robot, which is not really uh, quite inducive to learning. So I thought this way you'll be able to, put a face to the name and know that your prof is a human being, and I'm here, and I'm here to uh, support you and create a good, hopefully a good learning experience for all of us this semester. So here I am. Hello, my name is Hamid. I'm going to be your professor this semester, and I'm very excited to take this journey with you. Um, so very briefly, I'm going to try and keep this video under 10 minutes. Very briefly, I'm just going to show us the course, tell you guys where to find everything, how to navigate, and where to find information about tests and quizzes and so on, and how to contact me, and essentially what this course is all about. So here's our course. You should see the same link on your Blackboard page. When you click it, you'll see pretty much everything you need. I'm sure you're not new to Blackboard, but again, in case you are, pretty much everything you need to navigate the course is in this little pane over here. Okay, so then we're going to start going through each one very briefly. So this obviously is the announcements section. Right now it's blank because I haven't posted anything, but as I post new announcements every week, they'll stack up on top of each other and you'll be able to access them when you need. So you'll see this area here populated. Later tonight I will post an announcement to post this video that I'm making right now. The very next link, which I recommend you start with, is this one, important course info. So when you click that, and if you just scroll down the page, you will see the course outline and the required materials. This is our course outline. So I'm going to ask you to please download or print a copy right now, because this is your go-to document to see what's happening every week, if there are any assessments due that week, and what we're doing that week. So I already have downloaded mine and opened it, so I'm just going to quickly switch windows and show you guys where everything is. So this is information about our course. This is my email in case you will need to reach me. These are the resources that we'll be using throughout the semester. One good news for you guys, I'm sure, as students, is that there's no textbook. So all the readings that you see here are posted on Blackboard in PDF, so you can access them. So a typical week looks like that. You have your topic there. For example, in week 1, this week, we talk about Introduction to the Middle East, and we look at the theoretical framework for understanding the Middle East. Excuse me. The content is posted over here, and you'll see here that every week you'll see something here that says Blackboard materials. That's essentially my lectures. That's what I would have shown you on slides, PowerPoint slides, in a face-to-face classroom. So every week, please make sure you go through my lectures first. I'll show you in a second where to find it. Once you've done that, pretty much in most weeks, you also have to do some supplementary readings. So for example, for week 1, you need to read Volk's Introducing the Middle East, which is a short piece, and then Edward Said's Introduction to Orientalism. If there is an assessment, in a given week, for example, such as in week 2, we have the first map test. You'll see it listed under evaluation, and also you'll see the how much it's worth. So pretty much this is what every week looks like: the topic, um, my lecture, the reading that you have to do for that week, and in case there is an assessment. And you'll see, you'll notice in a lot of the weeks there isn't any assessment. So that's our course outline, and I ask you to please download it right now. And this is a document you'll refer to every single week. At the beginning of the week, I recommend that you open it, quickly take a look, and see what we're doing that week. So that document, once again, can be found under the second link here, important course info. Now, if you remember, just a few seconds ago, I was talking about going through my lectures first. So all of my lectures, you can find them under weekly learning materials. So you see, for example, this week 1, week 2. The future weeks will be hidden in a second, just because I don't want to overwhelm you. But at the beginning of each week, I'm just going to release that week's content. But let's just quickly click on one of them and see what it looks like. So you'll see this is my lectures, the slides I would have given, slides I would have shown in class. There's a lot of images, videos, and so on. Not a lot of text. Sometimes you might get, especially week 3 is notorious for that, a little bit of a longer lecture, but you know, the norm is usually something quite short, as you can see here. So once again, where to find my lectures, you'll click on weekly learning materials, and as we progress, you'll see these weeks, future weeks, appear. After tonight, you'll only see week 1. So after going over my lectures, then you would have to, as you remember, I'm sure you would have to do some supplementary readings as well. Where to find those supplementary readings? You simply click on the next link, which is course readings, and it's broken down by week, so it's very easy to access. So for week 1, on top of the my lecture, under weekly learning materials, you also need to read these 2 pieces. Again, in some weeks, like week 7, week 8, week 10, there's nothing to read. In other weeks, if there's 2 or 3 pieces to read, I've tried to keep them on the shorter end, but it is a degree course, so expect to read about 50 to 60 pages per week on average. And that's pretty much it. In terms of assessments, any quiz or map test or midterm, anything that you'll need to do will again appear in this area here when you click on assessments. And that's pretty much it. This is all you need to know on how to navigate the course. Now, our class, unfortunately, is asynchronous, so we're not even there's not even a time slot allocated for us on the timetable. So sadly, again, because you know, I would have liked to have the opportunity to at least meet briefly every couple of weeks, but then again, I can't hold people to that because our course is set up as asynchronous. But then again, I thought, you know, at least you can see me at the beginning of the semester, so you know that you're dealing with a human being. I'm here to support you, to answer all your questions. And my email, the best way to reach me is email, which you find right at the top of the course outline right here. And you know, I will always get back to you. Oops, sorry, I'm opening something. I will always get back to you within 48 hours, if not earlier. So that's everything you need to know about the course layout and where to access things. But once again, that's your key document. This is the one that tells you what you need to do for that week. So please download or print it again. Lastly, I'm going to end this video by just quickly telling you a little bit about the course, Understanding the Middle East. I'm sure you have your own reason. There's a lot of interest usually in the Middle East. People are wondering what the heck is going on over there. Um, so what I did is I made a sort of a course map for us, and you guys can see it here. So what we'll do, think of it as kind of like 4 units, and each unit being about 3 to 4 weeks, and that's our semester. So we'll start with spend a couple of weeks on the Middle East and what it even means. We'll start actually with some myths, as you can see under this first bullet, that's floating out there uh, about the Middle East, some misconceptions, right? And we'll visit those myths and misconceptions, especially in mainstream media, and we'll try to see how accurate they are. Okay, so that's week 1. In week 2, we switch to the definition of the Middle East. I mean, this is a degree level course on understanding the Middle East. So part of understanding anything is understanding the definition, right? What is the Middle East? And who defines the Middle East? What does even the Middle East mean? Have you ever asked yourself or wondered, when we say the Middle East, the middle of what? Or the east of what? Is this even a real name? And where did this name Middle East, this designation, where did it come from? Who defines it? And what does it even mean? Then in the second portion of the course, we will switch to history proper. By the way, this is a history course, so the progression will be linear. Okay, we'll move through history in a linear fashion. So we're going to start with the Middle East before the rise of Islam, because even though today the Middle East is associated closely with Islam and Muslims, believe it or not, it has a long, rich history before Islam came on the scene in the 7th century of the Common Era. So before Islam, the Middle East was actually shared by 2 powerful empires, the Roman Empire and the Persian Empire. Okay, and we will look at those 2 empires and we'll look at the legacies that were left behind. In the third portion of the course, which we'll spend a good 4 weeks on, 3-4 weeks on, we then obviously look at Middle East in the medieval period and the rise of Islam in the 7th century. We will look at Muslim empires when Islam came onto the scene and became an empire, displacing the Persian Empire, all of the Persian Empire and half of the Roman Empire, and itself becoming a global superpower, what we call the Muslim Empire. We will look at those. We will look at the golden age of Islam at that time, and we'll end this section with looking at the Middle East just before the modern age, which would be the 18th, 17th century. So we'll look at pre-modern era and gunpowder and just the years, the decades before human history enters the modern period. Obviously, our next step, logical step, would be looking at the modern period in the final portion of the course, and we'll spend again a few weeks there. We will look at the gradual decline of the Muslim Empire. We will look at how this happened as a result of 2 world wars, the colonial partition of the Middle East, the creation of new countries in the Middle East. And we will look at it finally at the resurgence of Islam. We'll look at the rise of nationalism in the Middle East, and then we'll look at the resurgence of Islam in recent times, right? Which in recent times, in our time, basically appeared as radicalism, terrorism, jihadism, and so on. So this is our course, historical look at the Middle East. And even though this is a very rich region with a rich history, so even though we were kind of scratching the surface really on each of these topics, but hopefully by the end of the semester you'll have a pretty good understanding of the Middle East, the myths associated with the Middle East and with Islam and with the region itself. So I'm going to end it here. without further ado, welcome to the course. I look forward to great